Hey, what is going on, everybody? Boilon here, back for another video on Raid Shadow Legends, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the brand new Legendary Fusion event that has been announced for Monday. So we got a new event, obviously on the back of Fabian, who is the last Fusion event. We're going to be talking about this champion. We're going to be taking a look at his kit. We're going to take a look at what he has to offer and whether or not he's going to be worth it for you to want to chase. Now, I think the important matter is here that a lot of players who watch this channel here are on the newer end of the scale. And so I do want to keep that in mind, that there's going to be a huge difference between whether or not a champion is worth going for if you're a new player, a mid-game player, or an end-game player, and what kind of value this character is going to have in your roster. So we're going to be taking a look at that. Before we get started, though, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid yet, now is the best time to do so, because you are going to get yourself a legendary Eleanor and an epic Rector Drath and Ugo at account level 15 and 30. And also that if you use the promo code Supreme6, you will get yourself a free legendary Supreme Gallic, who is really amazing for PvE as well. And if you find the information in this video helpful, please do me a favor and ring that notification bell and click that subscribe button. You'd be greatly helping out the channel. So let's just get started. I do want to give a special shout out to the Hell Hades group, of course, as usual. Great resource if you don't know Hell Hades or the Hell Hades gaming website. Lots of great information when it comes out in relation to Raid. I do want to talk about it here, so we're going to start with the article here. Lysanthier Beastbane. So he is going to be, he looks pretty cool. He's going to be of the High Elf faction, which is going to be starting on Monday, the 7th of April. So you do got a little bit of time to prepare if this is something that you want to do. It is going to be a mixed fusion event or hybrid fusion event, which is going to be involving, events. So almost always for fusion events, we have to compete in events. We have to do well. In this case, we're going to be earning fragments, which we're going to use to fuse epic champions, and then those epics are going to be used to fuse into Lysanthier. Now, it hasn't talked about, I guess it's going to be a new epic champion, because they normally release new characters, right? When it comes to fusion events. I don't know what affinity that's going to be. So that is one thing that I do want to talk about, actually, is that if you are thinking about doing this at all, then you do need to kind of prepare for that. If you're on the newer side of the scale, maybe if you're a little bit of a spender and you want to push for this, that's fine. Just make sure that you don't get caught out when it comes to Ascension, right? And so what I mean by that is, like, make sure you do have a decent amount of potions, so that you can upgrade. I don't know what affinity they're going to be, so make sure that you maybe have like a little stockpile of this kind of stuff for all of the different colors, just in case. I always do. If I'm getting a little bit low, I normally run the potion keeps just to kind of keep myself above a certain level, just in case I need it for a rainy day or a fusion event, and I don't have to go do it, and I'm not subject to the keeps in the days of the week and stuff like that. So just keep that in mind if that's something that you're thinking about. So let's jump on back here. Like I said, he does look pretty cool. Let's take a look at what he is going to be doing, though. He is of the High Elf faction. He is defense focused. That is his class or role. And he specifically is of the Spirit affinity. But I don't know what the epics that are going to be coming out alongside him. Now, he is a Hydra-based character. And that's why, and maybe you saw it on my thumbnail, I probably said something about it, how this might be a skippable character. And I think it really depends on where you are in the game. So as you guys know, for me, right, I've not been playing that long. I'm 3.5 months. Sorry, no, I'm less than 3 months, because I did that video on Arbiter. So I am trying to find my calendar, right? Coming up on day 82. So while I am kind of struggling a little bit to break into Hydra, it's also not my top priority, as I'm still pushing when it comes to Clan Boss, in other ways, in Chimera, in Demon Lord. I've now started to break into Nightmare Demon Lord. I haven't quite broken into Ultra Nightmare. That's going to be really challenging until I get specific characters. For Hydra, I haven't done my attacks yet, but I'm actually able to, with my existing roster, able to clear normal Hydra. Now, I'm not in like a hardcore clan, so we're not clearing hard mode Hydra, but we are killing normal Hydra, and I'm able to do that. Now, I'm not able to really, reasonably break into hard mode Hydra, And a lot of that's probably due to my roster, right? I just don't have a lot of characters. I'm 3 months in, basically 3 months in, and I just don't have a lot of champions, right? As far as my legendaries go, this is it. And actually, some of these have been really helpful. I have like 7 legendary champions because I randomly pulled Moto of the Peel, but I haven't really spent much time on him. But as far as the other characters go, right, they're not really Hydra focused. And it is what it is, right? Like it's a very wide roster clan boss. You need 18 characters to fulfill your 3 attacks. And so that means that this character probably is going to be good for a lot of players, but it may or may not be your priority if you're like within the first 4 months, right? Which I think is the bulk of the people watching my videos, unless you randomly come across this. So I do want to put that into perspective that while Hydra is definitely important, I'm not sure it's more important though than something like Clan Boss, something like Demon Lord, or even pushing Chimera, frankly, which is a lot easier to do in my opinion. So he's going to help in countering the Devour mechanic and rescuing allies. Let's take a look at some. Actually, I want to take a look at this because it's a little bit easier to kind of read the kit. So his A1 attacks one enemy 2 times. First hit has 75% chance to place Hex debuff. So that's kind of nice. It goes up to, of course, the full 100%, if you have the books in it. And that's what's kind of important for a lot of legendary characters too, is that you not all of them, but you kind of do need those books. And they're not easy to come by either. Places a 30% increased damage buff on him only. It's not even team wide, but it is an A1, so it is what it is there. Attack one enemy 2 times and has his A2 20% chance of repeating the attack. It's not even guaranteed necessarily, but that's okay. And this champion counterattacks or teams up, then it'll use this skill instead of the A1. So that right off the bat means you kind of either need to put him in retaliation gear, which I don't think you're going to be doing that, or you need to be using other characters in your Hydra lineup that calls for team ups, right? For me, it's like Farrakhan the Fat. He's like the only one that I even have in my roster that does those kind of things. I guess there's some other ones. There's lots, right? I just don't have them. So I don't know if this is really a very good character for me in my roster right now. His A3 ruins snares, attack all enemies twice, and each hit has 75% chance of so we get a decreased speed debuff. That's great. There's a fair bit of characters that can already do that. But there you go, and a weakened debuff. Like I can do this with my speed lead, Esther Dream Song, right? Like pretty much the same thing. If a target is under a hex debuff, place these debuffs before attacking. So okay, sure, but it just attacks two times. You need to put in a bunch of scrolls in there if you want to reduce the cooldowns. And then finally, I'm in the way, but his passive here will ignore life barrier and ally protection buffs. And this is very important to Hydra. Like, I don't think this is really relevant to any other bosses, really, other than Hydra, frankly. Increases this champion's defense by 5% for each active buff on this champion. Cool. So if you have a very buff heavy team, he's gonna get a lot of defense. That's gonna affect his damage and whatnot. And he does have a 28% defense in all battles aura, which is cool. So it is very, very niche to where did I go? He's very niche to Hydra. Like I just don't think that his kit is that great in other areas. And so while there is always while there's always probably going to be a place for a character like him in your Hydra lineup, that's just about it, right? So again, I want to put this into perspective that if you're a newer player, where's your let's be real, right? When it comes to a fusion, you need to clear a bunch of events. You're going to need at least 4 epics to fuse up for him, and you're going to need to clear 2 weeks worth of events in order to get this done. Will you be able to do that? A lot of this, I would say, outside of spending a lot of energy in the tournament or the events and tournaments, is going to be involving a summon rush probably, or a champion chase of some degree, right? So a lot of times this comes down to your willingness to be able to spend shards. Do you have any left over from Fabian? Do you have enough left over from Fabian if you did that? Or maybe you skip Fabian and you have a lot, right? So is this a good time for you to do so? I would say that if you're, I'm just going to extrapolate, but if you're within the first 6 months of your account, I don't know how big of a priority Hydra is over some of the other pieces of content. That's just my opinion, and I know I haven't been playing this for a very long time, but I'm happy with where I am currently at. Obviously, I can do much better in Hydra, but it's just not my biggest priority right now for my account. I've been making good progress elsewhere. I'm really happy about that. I am getting 2 chests every single week in Hydra on the max chest on normal mode, and I'm fairly happy with that, right? Like, it's not the best, but and I could do better for sure, but I think this is one of those fusion events where maybe, if you wait for the next one, I bet you he's going to be a lot better. He's probably going to be a lot better, or they're going to be a lot better in more game modes. And that's what I don't like. This is just a bit too niche. I don't find that the kit is broad enough to justify wanting to chase it and using it in other game modes where I might get some more value out of that. I don't think the kit is really that great in other places. But that's just my opinions. And as far as my horde goes, I got a crap ton of mystery shards. I don't know if that would even get me enough for what I would need for this character. Anyways, if I lower down my face cam here, you can see I have 2 sacred shards only, 3 void shards, and 21 ancient shards. So I think it's going to be a pretty rough going if I do want to do this event. I don't think it's going to be very easy for me. So I think that this is going to be a pass, but the epic character that they're going to give away as part of the fusion might be a silver lining, right? I don't know who that's going to be yet. And so there may be an opportunity for you to still pick up some stuff along the way during this fusion event. Maybe that epic's pretty good. Maybe I can get 2 of the epics, right? I can put them in faction guardians, or maybe there's some decent stuff in there that'll have some value aside from this champion. It's not something that I am personally going to be going for myself, but that's just my opinions. I'm going to continue to, hoard up my ancient shards, my void shard, everything basically, and hope that maybe in a month or whenever the next fusion event is, that there will be a more broadly usable champion for my roster that will just do better. Because I think that when you're in the early game, that you need champions that are going to kind of provide that kind of broader value. And frankly, even Fabian has been doing a lot better for me in my roster than probably what this other guy is going to do, right? Fabian has propelled me a lot in every single arena game mode. I've been using him a ton in Cursed City, in Faction Crypts, in Spider. There's been a lot of even PvE content that I didn't expect that I've been using him in. So that's what I mean. That I need some more broad-based broad-based just across the board value to want to push for it a little bit more, especially when I'm not picking up these resources like Sacred Shards, like Void Shards on a regular basis, or Primal Shards for that matter, to be able to compete in these events more regularly. I'm at the point where, because I'm not really spending a whole lot, that I'm going to have to pick and choose what fusion events that I'm going to go for. And I think that I would recommend others to do the same as well. Unless you're a big time spender and you can do this every single month, great for you. But for me, that's not the case. So I want to kind of really decide whether or not this is something for me. And I don't think that it is. But that's just my thoughts. Let me know what yours are in the comments down below. And before we go, I do want to remind people that if you haven't started playing Raid Shadow Legends yet, now is the best time to do so, because you will get yourself a free legendary Elenaril, an epic Rector Drath, and an epic Ugo if you use the QR code in the top right hand of the screen or using the link in the description down below. And that's not all, of course, that if you're a new player, you can also input the promo code Supreme6 as your first promo code to get yourself a legendary Supreme Galax. So now is the best time to start playing Raid Shadow Legends yet. And of course, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell to get up to date for all things Boilon on the Raid Shadow Legends channel. And that's it for now. I'll see you guys in the next video. And if you like this video, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and you'll be greatly helping out the channel. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys on the next one.